Right, getting into the roles now. So for picks and bans, I believe neither player has an amplifier that affects that. I would imagine BKDON is going to ban tapping maps, things like No Mod 2, DT3, DT2. Luminance is probably going to ban, gimmick hiddens. I'm not too sure how Tonka Truck or BKDON is on low approach rating, so not sure about that. No Mod 5 easy 1 slot for this week. But definitely I expect like a hidden 2 ban from Luminance. And BKDON bans DT3, an expected ban. I think just over 200 BPM stamina map of this week, something Luminance should be pretty comfortable on. And Luminance bans No Mod 3, which is fair. I believe BKDON is a pretty strong alternator. And this week's No Mod 3, sometimes you have like jump style No Mod 3s. This is more of a flow aim style No Mod 3. Yep, and then BKDON bans DT2. If you're gonna ban if you're gonna ban DT3 because of the stamina requirement, also makes sense to ban DT2 because of the speed requirement. That still leaves Luminance with no mod 2 for a map that has a lot of tapping and arguably no mod 6, but I wouldn't really pick that if I was a speed player. I think you'd have to be an alternator more so. And I think that's what BKDON is good at, so yeah, unfortunately, if you're a speed player, I don't really think you have a speed map outside of the DTs this week. Luminance bans Hard Rock 2, so banning 2 alt maps. Hard Rock 2 is the high BPM Hard Rock. It does leave the easy open though. So if somebody's well practiced on it, that could be a free win. And Luminance opens with Hidden 4. So this is a map I forgot about that is stamina heavy. This is 210 BPM, some pretty big streams, but it is AR9 hidden, which means that even if you're a pretty confident stamina player, you might not necessarily be comfortable aiming this kind of map, but Luminance is feeling good on that AR9 hidden aim. None of the patterns are too complex. Then his stamina can easily carry him through the rest of the map. Oh, and let's talk about the amplifiers. So Luminance has the Gambler amplifier. This gives him the ability to stake 1 point on a pick, and if he does so, he will gain a 10% score bonus. But if he loses his pick, he will also forfeit a point on top of losing the map, so hence the name Gambler. BKDON's amplifier is the missing piece, which allows him to pick a map from a previous map pool. I'm not sure if it's all of the previous map pools of this ANZT or just the last one. So you can, for example, pick, instead of this week's No Mod 1, you can pick last week's No Mod 1. I imagine BKDON is going to be comfortable on the aim, but we're going to see pretty quickly if he can play the streams. And there you can see already there, BKDON chain missing. Luminance looking super comfy at 100%. If anybody misses the 1/3 here, oh, missing right before and getting through the 1/3. Accuracy is also going to be a big benefit for Luminance here if he can get through the streams comfortably. First big stream. And BKDON gets through it, putting him in a massive combo lead. Oh, missing on the reverse slider. Luminance missing right after. Actually pretty close. But it's the accuracy, not being too comfortable at this 210 BPM range is probably going to be the difference maker. We are seeing quite a few misses from Luminance on the aim, the AR9 hidden aim. But I think his stamina will be enough to get him through this pick. Yep. And that's a solid first pick from Luminance. Definitely the rare case where you'd actually pick a hidden into a hidden player. And Gala forgot to put on no fail. Alright, so we're gonna get BKDON's first pick. I don't imagine he'd use the missing piece just yet. Might save it for later. Could potentially see an easy if he's able to play that kind of map. Maybe a hidden 2, maybe an A map. Lots of options. Wouldn't be surprised to see a hidden 1 picked at some point as well. Yep, and there's the easy one. So I think generally, with easy being in this pool, it's one of those things where you either play it, you can play it, or you can't. It's either one of those things where you're almost comfortable enough to FC, or you're getting 20k. So if you're able to play the easy, it's often a pretty solid pick. And this also does give BKDON the option, if he's really comfortable on the easy one, can also maybe play the No Mod 5, which is an AR0 CS6 A map. Gala is confused at the sheet for his own tournament. So look at that. This easy, it's, I would say, in terms of reading and understanding the patterns, it's on the easier side, but this is more on mechanics. How comfortable are you aiming and playing streams at this very low approach rate? Yeah, so we're going to be able to tell pretty quickly, is this going to be a close pick or is it going to be very one-sided? Over aiming the note on that. Oh, yeah. Luminance not looking comfortable whatsoever. This is just the intro. Oh, yep, misreading the slider. It's over. We saw a very, very strong performance on this map by Strawberry. Or Straub, I think his username is 0610 now. Earlier today. This from BKDON. But just the accuracy difference, the comfort, should put him squarely in the lead. The big stream. And Luminance has stopped playing, which is honestly, generally speaking, I don't like when people stop playing matches, but in this case, I think it's fair. If you're not really an easy player, and having to be forced to play easy, you can borderline get like an anti-warm-up. Like you might play your next map worse if you just play the whole thing, so I think it's very fair to put the pen down for this one a little bit. We're approaching to the big jump section of this map. BKDON actually misreading. See if he can hit it. And he does. Nicely done. That'll be a win on BKDON's first pick. Curious to see if after that he is going to pick no mod 5 at some point in this match, as that is an option. Now for Luminance, in terms of the stamina that's left in the pool, I think your best option is no mod 2, which I expect to be Luminance's strongest pick. Goes for DT1, which is also fair. 270 BPM, DT aim 10.3. As far as I'm aware, I don't think BKDON is super comfortable at the higher approach ratings. So this is probably a pretty solid pick. BKDON bumping up the gamma as you would. Luminance chooses not to gamble a point on this pick, which I think is fair. I think DT1, it's either, you're confident enough to have seen it and just win it normally, or it's also, it can be a bit of a RNG pick sometimes, especially if both players can play it. BKDON is by no means a weak aim player. I'll have to see if the 10.3 makes it harder for him to play this type of map. Luminance using a bit of a mix of single tapping and ulting on the sliders. Back to that. BKDON also looking pretty solid after that early miss in the intro. Missing on that triple though. I think that triple, if you're alternating this map, can actually catch you out. A little extra bit of finger control. Another miss from BKDON. Luminance looking super comfy. Oh, missing off that slider. Still gives BKDON a chance. Over half the map left. BKDON can hold a combo, and Luminance missing again. Sometimes these kinds of maps, if you're opting to single tap them and you start losing, running out of gas towards the end, halfway through the map, your aim also does get worse, and I think we might be seeing that. BKDON though, holding after that break. He's catching up in score. Oh, and that second break. The scores are very close right now. Will BKDON miss on the burst? Let's see. I'm missing. I was. Okay, that's fair. That is the third time I've seen a miss on that burst. But still though, BKDON has the slight advantage on accuracy and combo, and Luminance just keeps breaking. My guess is he's straining himself so hard by single tapping that his aim has gotten worse gradually over the map. So I can relate. Both players breaking, but BKDON just has a slight advantage. As long as he holds on towards the last part of the map here, he'll take this break point. And with Luminance missing, I think that's going to be it. Ooh, yeah. A solid break point from BKDON. Luminance looking so solid early. Don't know if it is an aim issue or a tapping issue, but my guess is just got exhausted single tapping this map, which is very fair. And what's actually funny is if Luminance used his augment on this map, his amplifier, he would have actually won it. If he gambled a point, that 10% score bonus would have put him in the lead. So maybe that was not the right choice to make, but it's easy to say that in hindsight. That's BKDON's pick. Could definitely imagine him sticking to that low AR route with the momentum from the easy one. Still have hidden 2, you still have no mod 5. He also has the amplifier, which allows him to pick any map from any of the previous map pools, which he might be doing. It's an interesting strategy because what you could do, for example, against a player like Luminance is maybe pick the round of 64 no mod 2 if you're comfortable on it, And that way you also get rid of this week's Nomad 2. But he picks Nomad 1. Not sure which Nomad 1 he's picking from. I think he's picking from either round of 64 or 32. Actually kind of surprised because I would say this week's Nomad 1 is actually very comfy. I'm surprised to see it used on the Nomad 1 slot. I would expect it to be used on a slot Luminance might pick from. And he picks Fuego, which is the round of 64 Nomad 1. Has a few slight tech elements with these slider jumps. Could just be a map BKDON is extremely comfortable on. And it's apparently 2 use. That's actually surprising. I didn't think so. I thought it'd be a 1 use. Let me double check. It is. Wow. Missing piece is 2 use active. That's actually kind of crazy. So if he wants, he still has the option of doing something like picking round of 64 Nomad 2. We're gonna get into the Nomad 1, the round of 64 Nomad 1. Honestly, this might just be me, but I borderline find this week's Nomad 1 may be easier to FC than this one. But it'll differ based on the player for sure. This one's actually pretty challenging, especially when you get to the slider jumps. Very easy to break. Will be BKDON's chance to solidify the lead after that last breakpoint on DT1. An early miss from Luminance. And an early miss from BKDON. Luminance not looking too comfortable. Oh. Maybe grip resetting? Misses all over the place. BKDON holding after that break, but Luminance cursor is all over the place right now. Not sure if it's nerves or just his pen isn't feeling right. I just saw Luminance's cursor without the map itself. I would think he'd be playing the easy one, but no, this is the Nomad one. BKDON looking very comfortable now. And yeah, I guess a very solid pick from BKDON. I think at this point, BKDON's gonna FC the rest. Honestly, pretty surprised at Luminance's score on this. I don't know what really happened there. And this being picked also prevents this week's Nomad 1 from being picked. It's Luminance's pick. Thinking we're gonna see a no mod 2 at some point. And there it is. There's the no mod 2 pick. This is a skilled set Luminance is pretty comfortable on. Stamina and flow aim. And Luminance uses his gamble amplifier, which lets him stake a point to increase his score by 10%. If he loses this pick, though, it is looking very scary. Miss from BKDON. Looks like Luminance's aim has recovered after that RO64 no mod 1. Which is good. Oh, never mind. They miss as well. BKDON actually getting through that intro with the combo advantage. And it just looks like Luminance's aim is fairly shaky. And this map does have a jump section that isn't that comfortable. Especially if you're just expecting some streams. BKDON missing. That gives Luminance a chance to take this back. Hitting the jumps, getting through the reverses. Oh, shaking all over the place. Puts the lead back in BKDON's hands. BKDON missing. This actually, I think right now, the Gambler's score bonus would make the difference. So as long as Luminance can hold just enough, that 10% gives him the advantage, but that chain miss will lower his score by a lot. BKDON hitting these streams. And right now, those chain misses, getting a 10% bonus would give him about 18k score, which would not be enough. But there's still some time left in this map. Oh, but missing there. BKDON holding. You do not want to be missing on this section at all. Oh. That is devastating. Barring a gargantuan chain miss from BKDON, I believe he's going to take this pick. Yep, that's going to be it. Now, this will put the match from 3-1 to 5-0, I believe, because Luminance staked his point on the Gambler amplifier. It will not be enough to obviously make the difference with that 10%. Puts him right under 220k. And that puts Luminance in a very perilous position. That is the scary part about picking Gambler. Actually, never mind. It doesn't transfer the point. He just loses a point. Okay. So it's actually 4-0, but that means Luminance has a lot more ground to cover now. BKDON picks Hard Rock 1, which, seeing how the No Mode 1 went, is a pretty fair pick. So concurrently with this match, Heatwave 1-6-0 against Seikei. Elements from Luminance. BKDON looking pretty comfortable, I was gonna say, but there's the miss. Pretty strong accuracy lead, however. Luminance holding after his early break. Let's put him in the lead. That break from Luminance puts BKDON back in the lead. And this is breakpoint. Actually, wait, no, it's not breakpoint of mine. It's 4-0. Forgot. Doesn't transfer the point. Back is still possible if BKDON misses very soon. And with that miss from Luminance, it's going to be very, very hard to come back. Even with that break from BKDON, you only have about a third of the map left to claw back from this 100k score deficit. With that break from Luminance on the stream, I believe BKDON will take this pick. This hidden 3 is normally a map I would expect BKDON to pick in this matchup. You know, so maybe Luminance is going to pull some freaky business. Okay, getting to the hidden 3. Probably one of the harder maps in the pool, maybe the hardest. Both players breaking on the exact same reverse slider. Getting to the meat of the map. Both players actually hitting this so far. BKDON, first one to miss. Luminance actually looking surprisingly solid. These patterns are brutal. There's the first break. BKDON breaking once again. Luminance looking surprisingly solid on this type of map. Only quarter of the map left with a 80k score gap with no combo. It's ending being very, very hard to get through. Albeit, Luminance winning his pick with that very solid run on the first div spike. We'll put a point on the board. The reverse sweep dream is in effect. BKDON is using the missing piece once again on the hidden 1 slot. And he picks eastbound and down. Is the round of 32. Hidden 1. I imagine he picked this map because of the song choice. This map I would definitely consider a little bit of an RNG pick. It is pretty comfortable for the first, roughly 2/3, and then it just has an insanely difficult ending relative to the rest of the map. It's very important on this map to try to combo to that point. Getting roped just a little bit for this map to start.
Safe to say that it's a long way down. And if these engines fail, I like a little more faith and a lot less feelings. Stand out, no wake up screaming. You better off without me anyway.
I believe Luminance is currently not readied. Alright, Luminance is back. The match. Oh, then yep, the map will start.
There she goes, she flies out to the east coast off the States, but I'll remain. There she goes, she flies out to the east coast off the States, but I'll remain here alone, following my own ghost.
And this from Luminance, not looking too comfortable on these aim maps today. And this is not the kind of map you want to be getting early breaks on. It only gets harder. BKDON looking pretty comfortable at this point, Luminance not as much so. Actually hitting that one stream and BKDON missing it. Puts Luminance back at the combo advantage, but can he hold it for long? Here's the break. Luminance knows he has a chance. Let's see if either of them will miss the perfect stack slider. Oh, missing on the jump. Both players hitting it. Oh, and both missing right after. Accuracy is very similar, but with a slight early combo advantage from BKDON. Still a chance for Luminance to take this breakpoint, but he needs to hold a combo. That chain miss is going to lose a lot of score for him. Yeah, with those breaks from Luminance and BKDON actually not holding anymore, but 100k score lead at this point. And the map is almost about to enter its really difficult section, where it's going to be extremely difficult to hold a combo.
Look now, it's safe to say that it's a long way down. And if these engines
Alpha Luminance somehow. FC. Oh, okay. I had a dream, and unfortunately it was not realized. Both plays chain missing on that pretty difficult stream. You can just see how much harder this part of the map is relative to the rest. Luminance actually hitting the ult pattern, which I would consider the hardest part about this entire map. That's gonna be it. BKDON will take this match with a score of 6-1. So Luminance losing one of his points to a gamble, which is unfortunate. That's gonna be it. Quickly see who BKDON will have next.